What's happening, Vinyl community? Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you guys are when you're watching this. Been a little bit since my last update. Happy to be back with you guys. I've got a really short but sweet one for you today, with arguably my best pickup of the year. Obviously, the year's not over yet, but it's going to be really hard to top this. Um, to open things up, it's been a really good year for me and collecting stuff from the Afrobeat, African music category. Found a dealer out of the Czech Republic who's was built a really good rapport with, who's helped me find a couple of really beautiful forever copies of William Onyebor's work. Anything You Sow, his final album, and Tomorrow, which is a white whale to find in clean shape. Um, if you follow me at Tunes, Trees, and Trees, Tunes, and Thoughts, sorry about that. I actually posted this and got a tag and a repost from William Onyebor's son. Again, very difficult album to find clean. I mean, African albums are, period, but this is extremely hard and it's extremely desirable. So, year's already been really good to me. And I've still got a few more coming from this particular seller. And then this one dropped in my lap. Out of the African stuff and generally in my most wanted, there's 3 Zamrock albums that are there. One is Ngozi Family, 45,000 Volts. That, if you're not familiar with that, that's the one that was sampled in Tyler the Creator's most recent album. So it kind of got a little bit of a splash there. Witch, Lazy Bones, which is, of course, one of the must-haves in that style of music. Again, originals are next to impossible to find clean. They're getting impossible to find, period. And then this one. I've owned multiple copies of this particular album I'm about to show you, but never this clean. Found it just searching Discogs. Found a seller in Italy that had it. We talked a little bit back and forth. He thought it was originally VG Plus. Gave it another spin. He said that's weak VG Plus to strong VG. Strong VG to weak VG Plus. If you know anything about African albums, usually they sound like a fireplace. So it's very difficult to find. The environment's very unforgiving. Plus, they weren't collector's items. They were just discarded. There's actually videos online of, I believe it's in Nigeria, of kids taking discs and having wars with them. So they weren't really looked after. So it's hard to find clean. Whether it be Afrobeat, Fela Kuti's original stuff, just difficult. So did a little bit of talking back and forth. The gentleman was very nice. He said, if I wasn't happy with it, he would issue me a full refund. He sent it to UPS Global Services, so I got it in 2 days. And without further ado, here she is. And this is probably the best find of the year. This is Ricky Alonga, Zambia. This is the first Zambian press. Super, super, super clean for this kind of music. Like I said, they're usually a fireplace. They look like a skating ring. They're crackly. This one looks really nice. It's got a few hairlines, a few pressing defects. I've already sampled it, aside from one little spot which makes a little bit of crackle on side 2, in the end of the first song and the transition to the second one. Plays really nice with a little bit of noise here and there. I mean, it's pretty standard for these kind of albums. Again, it's not like these are abundant. It's just not. If you follow Dylan at Noble Records, I mean, he speaks from experience there. He's upgraded multiple times. I mean, usually the jacket's in decent shape, but the album's, the vinyl's destroyed, or vice versa. The jacket's really nice. No writing, no real damage. Another issue that some of these albums suffer from is a lot of times they get left out in the elements, and aside from water and everything else, there's stories of moths that will actually eat the paper, and what you end up having is you have a layer cake effect on, so whatever they couldn't get to is left untouched, but the outside edges are eaten away, so it looks like just a giant layer cake. So again, multiple things are going against you when you're looking for this stuff. But I've played this a couple times. I've cleaned it. It's my forever copy. I really don't think I'm ever going to find a better one. and I can live with that. Strong fidelity, aside from just a little noise here and there, and a lot of that's got to do with the quality of the vinyl that they used back then. But if you're not familiar with Ricky Olonga, he was the guitarist for a band called Museo Tunya, which one of the biggest and earliest in the Zamrock music scene. Museo Tunya stands for, I believe, it's a nickname, or it's Zambian for "the lightning strikes the ground," which is actually the nickname for Victoria Falls, which is a very famous landmass between Zambia and Zimbabwe. It basically is almost like a border into itself. They did a couple albums. He went on to have a solo career. His first couple albums are very much in that Zamrock psychedelic sound. After that, he went to more of a reggae sound. Ricky is one of the few surviving musicians from the scene. Jackery Chanda, the lead singer of which is the only other one that I know of. There's a keyboardist that's in the latest incarnation of which, that was in like the very last incarnation before they split up. He's out of England. He's survived, but like a lot of the legends in the scene, the Ngozi family, they're all gone. People from Blackfoot, they've all passed, and that's a whole different subject for a whole different video. But Ricky's still alive and kicking. Jackery's still alive and kicking. They just played 2 shows here in Colorado. Sadly, I couldn't get the time off of work to go see them, which still stings a little bit. At least I've got the music. But again, not to prattle on too much, but I mean, this is a massive one, and I'm so happy to get this. And I had to part with a few things out of my collection to afford it, but I mean, when you get a chance at something like this, it's very hard to pass up. But thanks for sticking with me, guys. If you like what you see, please click like and subscribe. It's been a pleasure, and we'll talk again soon. You guys take it easy.